All right, so the NBA trade deadline has come and gone, and boy, there were some wild moves happening today. There's some NBA 2K video game shit happening. I'm going to break down all the moves as well as give you my 2 cents on the whole situation. But if you could first, like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you get these daily update videos, share this video with your friends. It really helps the channel out a lot. We are growing like crazy. All right, so the big headliner of the day was James Harden is going to be a Philadelphia 76er. I feel like I willed this into existence, people. Did a couple of videos on this possible trade happening. They said it wasn't going to happen. I said it was happening before the deadline. It happened. James Harden is a Sixer. Ben Simmons is a Brooklyn Net. Couple other pieces, obviously, in this trade. Ben Simmons went with Andre Drummond, Seth Curry, and a couple of firsts in exchange for Harden and Paul Millsap. That was the big headliner of the day. The Sixers get a superstar to pair with Embiid. They get rid of Ben Simmons, who is a toxic cancer and wanted out of Philadelphia. Really interesting move for the Nets. James Harden essentially has forced his way out of 2 teams in 2 seasons. This is a lot on James Harden. He has a lot to prove here. You have to win the East now with the Sixers. You got to get to the finals. I can't imagine they're not the favorite to come out of the East now. Maybe Milwaukee. I don't think anybody trusts the Heat, the Bulls. Nobody trusts the Nets now. They are getting a young superstar in Ben Simmons, but we don't know how dedicated to the game Ben Simmons is. He's as soft as Charmin tissue paper. He doesn't take criticism well, but that could fit in perfectly with the Nets and Kevin Durant and Kyrie. You know, Kevin Durant's kind of soft. Kyrie's kind of off the reservation. Could fit in perfectly with that team, but huge disappointment for the Nets. This was the Nets' big 3. They were going to run the NBA, and they ended up playing a total of 16 games together. Just 16 games for Harden, Kyrie, and Durant. 13-3 in those 16 games, so really, really good. But man, just a complete and total letdown as far as things concerned for the Brooklyn Nets. I don't know what they're going to do. Steve Nash is probably going to get fired in the offseason, I expect. I don't expect the Nets to make any sort of run here. They're going to have to reevaluate what's going on. Now, restrictions are starting to ease up across the country. Kyrie may be back to playing home games finally in Brooklyn, so that's another thing to look at. But that was the big deal today. Harden to the Sixers. A lot of prove-it guys along with this whole situation. But there were more deals. There was more deals to get done for everybody. A big shocker right at the end of the deadline. Kristaps Porzingis shipped from Dallas to the Washington Wizards for Spencer Dinwiddie. Great pickup for the Mavericks. Luka needed another wingman. The Porzingis experiment really didn't work out well in Dallas. He's just always hurt, very inconsistent. Spencer Dinwiddie is a bucket getter, man. He's had a couple of 25, 27-point games, 30-point game this season. Really helps out the Mavericks a lot. I think he pairs well with Luka. Luka's a young superstar, really going to take the Mavs to the next step. They got to win. They kind of feel like the pressure's on. You got to win a first-round playoff series this year. You haven't won one yet with Luka. Got to get out of the first round. You don't want to start getting the tag that you can't win in the NBA playoffs for a young superstar. You don't want that tag. You got to get past the first round. Lots of other interesting moves towards the end of the deadline. Dennis Schroeder getting sent from Boston to Houston in a cap dump, it looks like. Boston was cutting a lot of cap. They sent away Ennis Freedom. He got traded. So a lot of cap moves here. Big moves earlier. CJ McCollum got shipped to the New Orleans Pelicans. The Trailblazers are in complete rebuild mode. Can't believe what they're doing to poor Dame. Dame is out currently with an abdominal injury. I just don't see the Trailblazers being any sort of competitive anytime soon. Don't be surprised if Dame Lillard is on his way out in the offseason to a winning team. I mean, another team. How about the friggin' Lakers? Can we talk about the Lakers here? LeBron, the GM, horrible. They made 0 moves at the deadline. Nobody wanted to deal with Westbrook, I can imagine. The Lakers are a complete dumpster fire. They lost to said Trailblazers last night. Awful team. LeBron has to be dinked. He's having one of his best seasons ever at 37 years old. Just unbelievable season for LeBron. He's probably going to win the scoring title, honestly, which is absurd. But they're not even going to make the playoffs, I don't think. AD is a complete letdown. You should never have tied your horse to AD. A letdown his entire career. They won a title, cool. It was in the bubble. AD's always hurt. Mr. Street Clothes, never reliable in big spots. Westbrook was a dumb-ass move by LeBron. He needs to take the brunt of this. They could have had Buddy Hield. They could have had a scorer. The Kings were clearly willing to ship Buddy Hield. They shipped him over to Indiana. earlier, but they had a deal in the offseason for Hield, wouldn't get it done. LeBron wanted Westbrook. Westbrook's a head ass. He's the worst three-point shooter in NBA history, and he shoots at volume, which is even more embarrassing. Plays 0-0 defense. He gives you energy. Cool. He's horrible. Just a complete disaster for the Lakers. Real failure on LeBron, Rob Pelinka, that whole front office hive mind for Lakers. Can't believe they couldn't get a deal done to improve their team. They said they're going to be in the buyout market. Who the hell are you getting in the buyout market? Doubt you're getting anybody impactful there. So really, really let down for them. Spurs made a lot of moves here. They shipped away their whole team. It felt like the Spurs picked up a couple first-round lottery picks. They're going to be rebuilding there. Celtics did get Derek White from the Spurs for Josh Richardson. Good pickup for the Celtics. They've kind of positioned themselves into a better spot and make a playoff run here. They really weren't in great situation moving forward, but they've gotten hot of late. So really, really interesting. Goran Dragic's going to be bought out, they think, he got dealt from Toronto to San Antonio. This is where the Spurs got their other first-rounder. They expect him to be bought out to go to the Mavs. Another wingman to add with Luka. They have a connection there playing in Slovenia. Really, really interesting move for the Mavs there. Sabonis, obviously, the other day went to the Kings. I don't know what the Kings and the Kings and the Pacers were doing. I don't think anybody knows what the Kings are doing at this point. They did get Dante DiVincenzo from the Bucks today. They got Trey Lyles and they got Josh Jackson. So maybe they have a plan in Sacramento. I don't know. Bucks got Serge Ibaka. Big pickup for the Bucks. Got a big man to help out. They know who they got to face in the East. They got to deal with Joel Embiid, okay? You need some big man help. You got to deal with the Sixers in the East. The big man is a problem, so picking up Serge Ibaka is a good pickup. Clippers, I don't know if the Clippers know what they're doing either. They expect Kawhi to be out for the rest of the season. I've heard they're not expecting Paul George either. So the Clippers are kind of in no man's land. Got Rodney Hood, got Semi Ojeleye. I don't know what they are. Marvin Bagley to the Pistons. Interesting, Marvin Bagley feels like a huge bust, but he's still an interesting prospect. He's only 23 years old. It's amazing how long the guys have been in the league. They're still super, super young. Pair him with Cade Cunningham. Pistons are obviously in full rebuild mode, but they look like they're trending the right direction. Cade Cunningham looks like a hooper. So, kind of like what they can do there. Maybe Marvin Bagley turns into a guy again, if he's a good role player. That could help. The Jazz made trade yesterday with three-team trade. They sent away their boy, though. They sent away Joe Ingles. I know Jazz fans are distraught losing Joe Ingles. Really, really tough move for them. Like I said, Sabonis the other day was on the move but the Pacers got Tyrese Halliburton, which makes no sense why the Kings would get rid of Tyrese Halliburton. Really liked what he was doing there in Sacramento. Got rid of Buddy Hield. That was expected. It was a contract move there. But Sabonis had a big night last night for the Kings. I think he had like 25 points for them. So maybe that is working out. Again, CJ to the Pelicans. Cavs got Karis LeVert, sent Ricky Rubio to the Pacers. Karis LeVert, Cavs are an interesting team there. I think they're in 4th in the East right now. Really young roster. I'm surprised LeBron didn't say, hey, man, I really like this team in Cleveland. Maybe I want to go back to the Cavaliers there. Clown show LeBron over there. So really, really interesting stuff out of the trade deadline. A lot of big names getting moved. A lot of interesting guys getting dealt. Just really surprised the Lakers didn't get a move. The big name, obviously, Harden to the Sixers. That's your big name. There's always one big blockbuster name. That was the blockbuster trade. Like it for both teams. Love that the Sixers didn't give away too much. They kept Maxey and Thibault. Love that the Nets now have a guy who doesn't want to be their Harden and maybe a guy Simmons that wants to be there and maybe he finds his game. I don't know. I think he's a head ass, but I'm just biased on this one. Oh, yeah, check out the memes. Joel Embiid. Ice cold from the top ropes when the trade went through. Absolutely brutal on Ben Simmons. He made it clear how he feels. Meek Mill obviously excited for Harden. But yeah, that's going to do it for today. Again, let me know what you guys think. Who were the winners? Who were the losers at the trade deadline? Winners for me, obviously the Sixers. The Mavericks are a winner. Losers for me, the Lakers. The Clippers are a loser. They didn't really make any moves there. I don't know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Again, like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, share this video with your friends, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.